March 1945, the Allied armies had crossed into Western Germany and they were making their advances toward the heartlands of Germany itself. But one obstacle lay in their way, and that was the River Rhine. By March 1945, the Allied armies were poised on the west bank of the Rhine River in Germany. The US 9th Armoured had already made a bridgehead at Remagen when they crossed the Ludendorff Bridge there, completely unexpected for both the Allies and the Germans. But it was here, at this location, and this is the town of Oppenheim, on the western bank of the Rhine River, that General George Patton managed to get across unopposed on the evening of the 22nd of March 1945. It was the elements of the 249th Engineer Combat Battalion that were able to get a pontoon bridge here to span the 366 metres from the western bank of the Rhine across to the eastern bank. It was then that General George Patton was able to move elements of his 5th Division from his 3rd Army Group across onto the eastern bank and start to build a bridgehead right in the heart of German territory. But it was on this very spot that Patton managed to start getting his men across onto that eastern bank. Now what's really interesting was, initially he spoke to Bradley, his army group commander, and didn't want any publicity about the event. But he also knew that his arch rival, for want of a better term, Field Marshal Bernard Montgomery, was about to launch Operation Varisty-Plunder further up the Rhine in that direction, in the Wesel area, that would see troops go across, crossing the Rhine initially via boat and getting the infantry and establishing a bridgehead on the eastern bank, and then what would arguably be the best and the most successful airborne drop of the Second World War around Wesel and Hammenkeln. And Patton, being one to not shy away from the limelight, I think is probably the kindest way I can explain that. He then realised the publicity potential for having his army being across before Montgomery. By the morning of the 24th of March 1945, Patton famously stood on the pontoon bridge out there and went for a pee into the Rhine River. It was after this that he sent his famous communique to General Eisenhower saying, "I've just pissed into the Rhine River. For God's sake, send some gasoline." Now Patton knew that wars are won by logistics. He knew that he needed those supplies to feed his army to keep punching all the way to the east toward Berlin, into the very heart of the Third Reich. memorial here on the banks of the Rhine River. There's these wonderful information boards detailing everything that took place, as well as this fantastic memorial to the events that took place here in March 1945. So if you've enjoyed this episode of World War II Wayfinder, I'd love it if you would hit that like button, because it really helps the channel, and if you would consider subscribing, because again, it really helps me grow this channel and keep bringing you more and more World War II content. So I will see you all in the next one.